Hey everybody, it's Holly Peterson from Thunder Radio's The Morning Show, and I'm going to share with you a little craft that you or your kids can do while you're stuck inside with things that are not hard to find or things that you might already have around the house. So, what we're making today are macrame wall hangings. Sounds fancy, but it's not. All you're going to need to make this craft is yarn, a stick, and that's it. Well, use some scissors. Okay, the first thing that you're going to want to do is cut your yarn. You can make this as big or little as you want. This is the size of my stick, so I want my hanging to be about like that. You know, if I had a smaller stick, I would probably cut smaller strands of yarn. You get it. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is get your yarn. So it doesn't matter what color. I mean, if it's just something that you're trying to do to occupy time, just get some of that old yarn that you're never going to use, or call up your grandmama. You know she got yarn, and or if you want to put a little more thought into it, get some yarn that you like. This is what I had laying around, so this is what we're using. The first thing you're going to do, obviously, is cut your strips of yarn that are going to make the strings in the wall hanging. Nobody's got time to cut individual strips, and I have found the easiest thing to do is find something in my house about the length of how long I want my yarn. So it's just a sign. It's just a sign off a shelf that I had. So what I'm going to do is just wrap the yarn around the sign a whole bunch of times. You get it? Okay, once you have your string wrapped around your object of desired length, we're going to just slide it off one side here. Like so. And just going to cut right there. Just going to cut that right in half. Boom, done. Now you're going to need to cut a piece of string to attach the rest of the string to. I don't know, I didn't word that well, but you get it. Okay. Now we have our main line, and let me put this where you can see it better. The color of the yarn that I picked matches my table, so that is the worst thing that I could have done for this video. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to teach you how to attach the yarn. It's so easy. It's just a, I don't know what you call it. Maybe it's not a slip knot, I don't think. It's just like a loop. All right, so you have your string, and it's folded in half. The two loose ends are down in one hand, and the loop is in the other. The way I show my kids is, this is the fishtail, and this is the shark mouth. And the shark mouth eats the fishtail, and then there's your loop. Okay? So, I go ahead and put the yarn underneath the main line and just attach it that way. See? You get it? Ta-da! And that's it. That's it. That's all you do. So, take your yarn and kill some time and attach it to your main line. For some of you folks who are thinking, I don't have time for that, you can cheat. You can get a wad like this. Same thing. Fold it in half and you're just going to loop it over your main line. That's going to make your row fill up so much quicker and look thicker. It's just a different look. You may like it. You may want to try it. Go for it. All right, now that you have all your little yarns on your main line, you can connect it to your stick. Just tie it around. On each end. It's not got to be anything fancy. And that is it. Boom. So you kind of got this boho wall hanging, right? Look, I've got a loose one. Let me just trim that up. And that's all you need, but say you want to make it a little fancier. There are things you could do without adding anything to it, like cutting the bottom at angles or straight across. You could braid some of these yarns if you wanted to. If you wanted to add things, you could add beads to it. Something that I like to do is, so they sell these succulents at the place where you can buy things for $1. And so I get them and then I take them out of these pots and then I hot glue them to the top of my wall hangings sometimes, you know. Sometimes I'll do them all the way across or just on one side or the other. But what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut it at an angle and then I'm gonna add another color to just kind of give it a little something, okay? So when you're cutting, it's not a big deal. Don't be afraid to cut it. Just cut it. It's just yarn, all right? So about the middle and just gonna go up on both sides. Let your inner hairdresser come out. Remember when you used to get your Barbie dolls down and cut their hair? I'm not the only one. Alright, and then we're going to about halfway and then go up the other side here. Whatever. We don't care if it's even. It's just going to be even-ish, okay? We're not picky. Well, I got to do a little better than that. I'm just going to straighten this side up a touch. Boom. That's cute, right? All right, so we're going to add another color. And I have my second color main line. And I'm just going to add all my little yarns to it, just like the first one. If I didn't say in the first, but when I started yarning the first time, I did these in groups of 3. It seemed to go pretty quick that way. Okay, so I'm not going to make as long of a string of yarn. What do you call this? I don't know. So I'm not going to do as long as of one this time because I'm just going to kind of, I just want to kind of add a splash of color where it's just so monotone. So same thing, you're just going to tie it to the top of your stick. Okay, so did I get it straight? Let me just move this down a touch. It's straightish. Ta-da! And that's how you make a macrame wall hanging. Of course, there are lots of things that you could do. Like I said, you can add more colors. There are different shapes. You can knot the strings, which actually is what macrame is. You can do it with fabric. I've used lace. Lots of options here. Make it as big or as little as you want to. Add things to the top. Sometimes I take fabric, like for holidays that I have found, and I'll rip it and make like buntings out of it. I can show you how to do that another time. But while I have you, I'm going to do a little bit more of, not intricate, but we're going to step it up a notch. How about that for the kids? So we're going to make a rainbow macrame wall hanging. All you're going to need for this is, got my stick, and all my colors are cut, and cotton balls. So I need my main line, which I don't have. Let me cut around. Okay. So, same thing, down the row, add the yarn to the main line. Again, for the kids, I'll show you how to do this where you can remember how the yarn goes. It'll be a little bit easier to see with the brighter colors. So, you get about 3 pieces of yarn. You are gonna fold it in half. So my finger's in the loop and my other hand has the tail, okay? So it's gonna go underneath the main line, and the shark mouth with the loop is going to eat the tail. And then, boom, it's on there. So, the colors of the rainbow are Roy G. Biv, if you want to go in order. I don't have indigo, so we're just going to leave that out, but otherwise I'm going to go in that order. Okay, so once you have your yarn on your main string, same thing, attach it to your stick. Now, when I say stick, it doesn't have to be a stick. I've done these on embroidery loops or rings. I've seen it done with picture frames where the glass and the backing aren't in, and you can just go right through the wood. So it's just, make it whatever you want. I'm using a stick. Tie it to both ends. I'm going to leave it to where there is a loop or an arch because it's a rainbow. You can do it however you want. All right, so there that is. I think I'm gonna leave my bottoms just kind of rough because I like my rainbow running wild down there. All right, so we're gonna add clouds. So that's what we need the cotton balls for. What I like to do with them is just take them and pull them apart a little, kind of fluff them up, make them less uniform. Okay, so once you have your cotton kind of fluffed, what I like to do is take a needle and thread and just kind of randomly run it through all these cotton balls. And that's just going to kind of connect them. It doesn't have to be any certain way or order. Sometimes I like to go back around and go through them twice, make sure they're good and in there on that string. Like so. All right. Now that I have one of my clouds done, I'm just going to tie it to the stick. And like the other side, just tie it to the stick. Oh, I tied it to the wrong side. And you can fluff this or, spread this out or make this whole stick covered in clouds if you want to. But that's just what I'm doing with mine. And you can add more thread around the clouds to make it feel more secure. It's your wall hanging. You do whatever you please. And if you do decide to try these yourself or with your kids, send us pictures and we'd love to put them on Facebook and share your macrame wall hangings. You can send them to us on Facebook Messenger or at hollyp.wmsr@gmail.com.